Good morning, beautiful people, lovely dreamers, all you souls out there on your journey, seeking out your dreams, seeking out your fortunes, your joy, your happiness. I hope things are going well for you and that you are finding joy in your journey. It is December 23rd. 2023. This is episode 24 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. We are 2 days from Christmas. I hope the Christmas holiday is bringing you cheer for all of you who subscribe to that holiday. And for those of you who do not, I hope that it is not too annoying to be absolutely inundated and surrounded by a holiday that does not hold the same religious significance or cultural significance. I gotta be honest, at this stage of my life, I'm a total Scrooge, a total humbug. I just don't get into the holidays anymore. I grew up in a kind of a traditional household that would make a big to-do out of the holidays, and Christmas would come with Christmas lights and the Christmas tree and the presents and the cookies and the anticipation and now I don't, it's just, oh, cool, I get a couple days off of work, which is just so, I don't know if I'm bitter. it just doesn't hold a meaning. I think a lot of it just has to do with, the whole kind of family path sort of eluded me in my adult years. I didn't get married. I didn't start having kids. And so it didn't really have that sort of awe and wonder of carrying on the traditions to my children, which I think has a lot to do with it. And so now I'm just, what am I even doing? I've lived pretty much, since I moved out of the house, I've lived with other dudes. I've lived in perennial bachelor pads my entire adult life. And, us bachelors, we're not really ones to coordinate decorating our bachelor pad. And, almost exclusively, anybody who I was living with would go home to their family for the holidays or whatever. So it's not like anybody was celebrating Christmas where I was living. And that's still the case today. So I don't know. I don't know what that makes me. Bitter, maybe. Or just detached from the commercialization of religious holiday, religion that I don't really believe in anymore anyway. And so, if I don't have an emotional connection to this whole the birth of Jesus idea, then I sure as heck don't have any emotional attachment to the mass commercialization of the holiday, trying to guilt me with some sort of cultural, societal pressure that I need to spend all of this money on decorate. Oh man, I sound so bitter. Why is this coming out? This is supposed to be a positive, let's go for our dreams podcast. And here I am, diving into why Christmas is a sham, man. Hey, I get it. It's cultural, and for some, it has deep religious significance. And, it's deeply ingrained in Western culture. And, hey, that's great. It just doesn't really, resonate with me on any sort of emotional level anymore. But hey, I don't mind getting a couple days off and get a chance to go hang with my family. I don't really do anything else other than that. I don't go try to get a Christmas list and buy presents for everybody. If I feel inclined to buy a present for somebody, then I'll do it. But the reality is, if I want to buy somebody a present, I'm going to do it any time of year. I'm not going to wait for a special holiday to buy presents. I'm going to do it on my time. Okay? Do I sound as pompous to you guys as it's coming across in my in my head? Anyway, it is the Christmas holiday in a couple of days here. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and then the holiday, and then the New Year, and then we're back to the grind as normal. Although I haven't really left the grind. I have just been doing all of the things that I should, and been really focusing a lot on my social media presence, trying to figure that whole game out. Posting a lot more frequently, posting these podcasts. Yesterday, I had a huge to-do list. I did maybe 30% of it, but it's not zero, okay? If I hadn't made the checklist, I would have done zero. And that's the thing, is set your goals, set your task lists, do the best you can, but then give yourself a break if it's not 100%, because again, as long as it's not zero, and by the way, even if it is zero a day, just don't let the next day be zero. And, this is about building a long-term sustainable dream life, not burn out after a week or burn out after a day because I set this massive task list and then I didn't get it all done. And so then I spend the next month regretting it and feeling guilty that I'm not good enough and I didn't do more and I should have done X, Y, Z and blah, 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 blah. It's like, give yourself a break, set the goals, set the task lists, go for them with everything you have, with all of your resources, and also give yourself a break so that when things don't go well or you don't perform to the standard that you were hoping you would, you don't get so discouraged that you quit. That you can say, all right, this was the best that I could do today, and I didn't get XYZ done, but I did do ABC. Let's celebrate ABC, and then let's put XYZ on the task list tomorrow and move forward. Always move forward in the pursuit of the dream, or move backwards or move side to side, but don't stop. Don't stop. Don't quit. So, yesterday, I had a big task list. I was going to get my next week of social media posts scheduled out. I was going to clean my room. I was going to clean this podcast room, get my laundry put away, exercise, write more comedy. I had 2 auditions I needed to film, so I was going to do that. What I ended up doing was filming 1 audition, posting 1 day of social media, and that's it. However, the good news is my sleeping schedule is starting to get back on track. I actually fell asleep at 10 o'clock last night, which was a miracle, and then woke up pretty early this morning, which is very rare. So I woke up at like 5 a.m., sort of relaxed for a little while, and then first when I got up, I was like, all right, it's time now to finish a lot of that stuff. So then I cleaned my room. I cleaned this room, put my laundry away, and so I've already did 3 of the things that I was going to do yesterday already, and it's not even 8 a.m. yet. The hell, I feel like I'm sounding really pompous today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the air. The Christmas air has made me very bitter and high-minded about Christmas and very braggadocio about my task list accomplishments. But, that's what I set out to do with this podcast, is just to be as transparent as possible, to just try to cut through the bullshit, to just be as real as my ego will allow me to be, and just talk about what's going on in my life as I am pursuing this audacious goal and this big dream of mine that has been calling to me ever since I was a kid, and yet has eluded me my entire life for so many reasons, probably the most significant of which is just my own mindset, my own fears, me just getting in my own way. I don't think it's anything else other than that. Now, maybe there's some luck involved, but maybe there's not. Maybe it's not luck. Maybe it really is just how much effort I put in and the type of effort and my capacity and willingness to exert and to adjust and improve and grow and continue to put the effort in necessary to realize the dream. And again, the dream for me is to be in a position of comedic fame to where I can tour regularly to sold out crowds. People know who I am. People are paying to see me, as opposed to my current reality, which is people pay to see a comedy show that I happen to be on, but they didn't come there for me. They came there for a comedy show, and anybody could show up and entertain them. So that is a very different state to be in than, oh, Paul Green's coming to my town? I'm going to buy a ticket to see him. And that is not today's reality, and that is my dream. And from that dream, I have always wanted to be on a sitcom. So I have this acting dream. So there's this comedy dream and this acting dream, and I'm pursuing both of them. However, my focus really now is on the stand-up comedy career, and I keep getting drawn back to that. And I think there's something in that, which is trust your intuition. And if your intuition is just really guiding you down a certain path, even if it maybe doesn't seem the most logical, or even if it doesn't seem direct, is just follow that intuition. And I'll tell you in a couple of years if that advice turns out to be true. But it's stand-up comedy is where I always have been led to. And anytime I really start losing focus on that, or I try focusing more directly on maybe acting or improvising or any other entertainment pursuit that isn't directly related to stand-up, it just doesn't seem to be where the infinite universe and or God is guiding me to. So I am just learning to trust that intuition and trusting that whatever path is forging ahead of me, that me learning to trust my instincts, trust my heart, and all of that sort of trope spirituality. But, there's got to be some truth to that. And all I can say is the more that I do pursue comedy, the more doors that seem to open up through that venue or that avenue than any other avenue that I've pursued directly. So stand-up comedy is how I got my agent in Los Angeles, and I've booked the most through that agent in stand-up comedy. Because of that, when I moved back to Arizona, I was able to get a commercial agent in Arizona, and have booked through them. And I'm now starting to get theatrical opportunities through them. And there's a potential that I'll get a theatrical agent. So stand-up comedy was the hub which started to open these other doors. And even though, to me, in my mind, it's like, well, I want to be a comedic actor, which I still do, going the direct acting route, which I did for a while in LA. I was submitting every day for roles, anything that I could get, which, because I was a nobody and wasn't in the union, I could really only get like student films and, sort of indie, low budget projects, other people on the production side who were trying to make a name for them. But, they didn't have a budget, or they didn't have any big names attached to their projects, and they're just trying to hustle and trying to get some sort of project filmed and edited and cut so that they have some sort of calling card, some sort of reel, a body of work that they can then potentially and hopefully use to try to parlay into bigger opportunities. So that's what I was doing on the acting side, and I had a great time. I probably did 30 student films. I got some great footage, but I always, again, kept getting pulled back into stand-up comedy and pursuing that and really trying to hone that craft. So that's where I'm at as we start to gear up for Christmas and the new year. and all that goes into those holidays and the time of renewal and joy and family and reflection and happiness and joy and all of that fun stuff. And then we'll start to gear up and see how this new year pans out for all of us dreamers out there. So, all right, that is the podcast today. Forgive my high-minded, pretentious, pompous attitude towards Christmas. I did not really mean for that to come out as it did. But I love all of you. I am sending you so much love and energy and positive vibes for you and your individual dreams and journeys and whatever your path is leading you towards, whatever in your heart. I hope that you are finding the resources and the will and the joy in pursuing those dreams and pursuing that journey. So let's make it a great Saturday, December 23rd, 2023. Episode 24 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon.